You got him for abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Hello, race fans, and welcome to the Magic Mile in New Hampshire, also known as the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I'm Tanner Sharp. Alongside me in the booth tonight is Mr. David Everly, and we are here to bring you the Upper Edge Racing League's Profile Machine Products Cup Series, powered by our Expression, and we are in the championship race for the championship. 8 drivers remaining, and this is the final race of the top 8 drivers. Who's going home and who's moving on? And I tell you what, before we get to the drivers here, welcome, Dave, to New Hampshire. And we're here live on the Dre Broadcasting Network. And Dave, New Hampshire, you were looking at this racetrack. I was talking about this racetrack before we went live. New Hampshire is a 1 mile racetrack, actually 1.058 miles to be exact. And it is relatively flat with 7 degrees of banking in the corners of the racetrack, 1 degree of banking on the straightaways. As we talked with drivers about 2 to 3 weeks ago, they say New Hampshire is a tough place to pass, and I tend to agree with them, Dave. What are you looking forward to this race? And my question to you is, do you think track position is going to be king?
I do, Tanner. I'm going to have to go on the track position. It's going to be key. Races that I've seen here, New Hampshire tends to work out as a one groove track unless you get those fresh tires on a restart. Then you can probably get a little bit of side by side racing there. But once these tires start wearing, it's going to become a one groove track.
It definitely is, and New Hampshire's always been a one-groove racetrack in my mind. You don't want to get below too much of that, close to that yellow line. You want to run a groove up because that is the preferred line on the racetrack. All right, we talked about the racetrack here today. The weather is default settings at 78-degree air temperature, 105 degrees, 106-degree track temperature, which can mean some slick conditions on corner exit of the racetrack, especially on a relatively flat racetrack surface. 2 miles an hour is the wind coming from the north with 55% humidity. Now, with that being said, we can move on to the drivers here of the Upper Edge Racing League's Cup Series, the Profile Machine Products Cup Series, as Shane Tyrion, who won Talladega last week. He doesn't have to worry about New Hampshire. He can come in this race and wreck it for all he cares. So either way, he advances to the Final Four that's going to race for points for that championship. Another driver who's going to go on is Carl Shedd, won Texas 2 weeks ago. He can come into this race and tear it up if he wants. I mean, that's his decision. Either way, he's the Final Four. Now, here is where it's going to get interesting. Walker Thomas is sitting third in points, 8 points back. Michael Araya, 9 points back. That is the top 4 drivers I've named off. Ryan Dyson, 18 points back. He has a 9-point cushion behind Michael Laraya. With the amount of drivers that have showed up so far, I counted 18 drivers that have showed up for tonight's race. Mathematically, points-wise, he can get in, but I prefer a secured spot on trying to finish in the top 5 or get that win. Joseph Tice is 6 in points, 10 points back from the 4th place spot. Tice is, same case scenario with Ryan Dyson, finishing that top 5. Make sure you're finishing ahead of Laraya and try to win the race. Now, Corey Hoover, Joe Lawrence. Corey Hoover is 23 points back. Joe Lawrence, 25 points back. Those 2 drivers are pretty much in a must-win scenario based upon how many drivers have showed up tonight. There's nowhere on points-wise that they can gain on Michael Laraya because that is greater than 10 points. Actually, it's 16 points to be exact. So you really got to hope for Laraya or Thomas to finish dead last or to get involved in an accident and finish dead last. And for yourself to finish in the top 5, that'll give you a little bit of a leeway as far as points is concerned. But that's more of a long shot with the amount of drivers that are showing up tonight. So that is the top 8 drivers that are contending so far for the championship. Now on track here, we do have drivers in qualification mode, I believe. Yes, they are. Carl Shedd so far on top of the board. Joseph Tice so far, good run for him, proving that he is a top 10 car because he's 8th on the speed chart, 2nd in qualification. Walker Thomas 3rd, and he has a top 5 car, 3rd on the speed charts, 3rd in qualification. Nick Massey, good run so far for him. Qualification time is in 4th with a 29.741. Qualification times are actually really close. With the pole time so far, a 6:08 29 bracket. Looking at other chase contenders, Michael Araya 5th. Joe Lawrence is so far going to start in 7th. Dyson in 8th. Hoover in 11th. And Tyrion, he's moving on. He hasn't taken qualification time. that's pretty much all I am seeing that have showed up for tonight's event here, Dave. So this is going to be a really interesting race. As you said, I definitely agree. Track position should be key here at New Hampshire. If you're started towards the back, it's 150 laps tonight here at New Hampshire, 150 miles. If you're starting at the back here and you want to try to make your way towards the front, take your time. There's plenty of time to get up towards the front and use a little bit of pit strategy to get towards the front there, Dave.
Yeah, most definitely. These guys, they want to get into that round of 4 because, I mean, we've only got a few more races up. So they're going to have to do the best they can and hopefully be able to drive clean. Tough track, as you said, little to no banking. I think right about 7-degree banking in these turns. So it's pretty much a flat track. So they're going to have their hands full here tonight.
Yeah, they really are going to have their hands full. And New Hampshire is no, I mean, I like to call it the Martinsville on steroids. This track's kind of like Martinsville. It's just in a mile version of it, but it is mainly referred to as a Magic Mile. NASCAR only comes here twice a year, actually, but starting in 2018, they'll be only coming here one time. So this is going to be New Hampshire's always been a good racetrack to NASCAR throughout the years. The track opened up in 1990, June 5th, 1990 exact. The ground broke for the Speedway August 13th, 1989. And the track is currently one of 8 major NASCAR tracks owned and operated by Speedway Motorsports. Feel free to chat with us here tonight on www.youtube.com/Dre Broadcasting Network. Do see some people in the chat here tonight. Feel free to talk with us, talk about the race. Maybe I can pop in a little bit of a New Hampshire question for you. So, all right, Dave, we got 10 seconds till qualification time. I'm not going to read off the qualification grid until we get an official grid here. 17 out of the 18 drivers have made a qualification time tonight. Hey, check it out. Checker flag is out. It's going to be about 30 seconds until we reset everything here. Virtual fans will be in the grandstands, and we'll get this thing ready to rock and roll. 4 races remain. We're going to have 3 races for the final 4. And one thing I like about here at in this league of the Upper Edge Racing League is that I'm looking at the schedule. The round of 8 will be done tonight. Then we move on to the round of 4. The round of 4 is just going to strictly consist of 3 races, and you're strictly racing for points. I love that. Here's the reason why. I'm more of a past NASCAR fan, and I love the Winston Cup point standings. You know, like the 1992 championship, the 2011 championship. Those were exciting years in NASCAR as far as points are concerned. We get another opportunity to race for points here. And actually, every time we reached an end of a round, we've had some pretty close contention in points. So the round of 4 is going to consist of Michigan, Phoenix, and Homestead. Pretty cool to have Michigan on the round of 4 there. So let's line them up here, Dave. Starting on the pole tonight, he was fastest in practice. Mr. Carl Shedd will start on the pole. Joseph Tice, who is really gunning for a win, but hoping for a good finish, starting second. Walker Thomas, same case scenario with Joseph Tice. Walker's going to start in 3rd tonight. Nick Massey will roll off in 4th. Bradley Burke will start in 5th. Michael Laraya will start 6th. He's just pretty much hanging on so far. Let's see if he can get it done tonight. Joe Lawrence, one of those drivers with 18 cars on the track, is pretty much in a must-win case scenario mathematically in my mind. If I'm doing the math right in my head, he's going to start off in 7th tonight. Ryan Dyson will start 8th. Riley Grant Davis will roll off 9th. And 10th place, Michael Fennelson. Corey Hoover is going to start in 11th. Jacob Adams will roll off in 12th. Robert Kenny, 13th. Joshua Adams, 14th. 15th, Tom Bourne. Jamie Dyson, 16th. 17th is Tommy Massey. Shane Terrian, rounding out the 18 drivers, are going to start the field tonight. Okay. So we're going to roll off here where they only get one pace lap, so they're going to go green next time by when they come across the start-finish line here. Driver getting a EOL for the evening. Tom Bourne started 15th. He'll get the EOL. And Dave, final thoughts before we hit the green flag.
Hold on to the seats. It's going to be a bumpy ride here at New Hampshire.
There is some bumps here in New Hampshire, and that's what makes it a little hard to pass. It's all laser scanned to the real-life racetrack. Nothing changed in the surface of the track, so there's no need for iRacing to change the track. We are going to be coming through turns 3 and 4, relatively flat racetrack. Up towards the front, you see where Carl Shedd is running. That is the line you're going to want to take. You don't want to get any lower than that, because the more you get lower, the more that apron kind of acts like a banking a little bit. But here we go. Pace car in. It's all Carl Shedd. Green flag is out, and we are racing at New Hampshire for the final round of round 8. Down in turn number 1, side by side for the top spot on the racetrack. Shedd on the bottom, Tice on the high side. Shedd's going to clear Tice, almost hitting the outside wall. These guys really get close to that outside wall. Down in turn 3 for the first time. Shedd's out front. Coming on the bottom of the racetrack is Walker Thomas. Can he make the run on Tice? Don't think it's going to happen. Shedd's going to lead the first lap of the evening. First side-by-side battle is between Nick Massey and Walker Thomas. It's like Thomas is still trying to battle. He might clear him on exit right here. He will. Bradley Burke was on the bottom last time I seen down turns 1 and 2, and he still is trying to hit the bottom there, kind of punting another driver out of line who thought about hitting the bottom. Shedd still leading. That would have been the 28 of Dyson. Ryan Dyson, who's contending for a championship. He pretty much is going to have to win this race just based upon how many drivers have signed up for tonight's event. Burke thought about hitting the line there, but looks like Fennelson's going to take advantage of this. Followed by the 33 of Corey Hoover, another driver who's contending for a championship, but hopes to get the victory lane tonight to move on. Seen a lot of great paint schemes out there. I do like Bradley Burke's paint scheme. I actually like all the paint schemes out there tonight.
Yeah, they look good out there, but I mean, you got a lot of guys here. You got 8 of these guys fighting for the championship. Quite a few of them. Must-win scenario. Carl Shedd is not one of them, but he is not holding back. He is out front here as he's got about 0.3 of a second lead over Joseph Tice. Joseph Tice, pretty much a must-win. He's got to win to get in. Then that leaves just one driver. If a Carl Shedd or Shane Tyrion does not win, that leaves basically one driver getting in on points.
It definitely does. Looks like Fennelson made that high line work on the outside line and get the nice run off over Corey Hoover. Actually, Hoover was actually trying to gain that spot. Couldn't make it. He's just going to have to ride in line now. Not seeing any passes for the lead just yet. Top 7 remains single file. Kind of broken away just a little bit here. First side-by-side is kind of mirrored in the back of the pack between the 88 and the 24. That's Joshua Adams and Riley Grant Davis. Riley Grant Davis loses a spot to Adams, as Jacob Adams is trying to get underneath the 24. Not going to happen there. Might see a battle a little closer towards the front. It is Ryan Dyson trying to get underneath the 44 of Lariah. Lariah hanging on. Dyson gets a beautiful run on corner exit. He's going to fill that up. Here comes the 78 of Lawrence, wants to try to challenge Lariah for position. Lariah kind of backs out of it. Lawrence is going to take that position away. So 2 spots already lost for Lariah on the track. So far, we are clean and green here, Dave, and these lap times can go quick. We're only running about 29 to 30-second lap times. We're already completed 7 laps since the drop.
Yeah,
Another
but still got
Oh, go ahead.
150 laps though. I mean, we'll have to see how this goes as these tires get wore out.
Yeah, they do tend to wear out pretty quick at New Hampshire. I mean, I know that from experience. There was a battle back there between Fennelson and Hoover. Hoover couldn't do anything with Fennelson. Otherwise, everybody is remaining single file on track so far. All right. Well, I got my calculator in handy if we remain green, so we'll see how long these guys are going to take till they start hitting pit road. It'll be a little while yet. I'd say give or take about another 30 laps.
Yeah, I mean that's the good thing about these 1 mile tracks like this though is they can run a pretty good distance on a tank of fuel. So I mean the question is, I'm sure some of these guys have already got a fuel strategy, a pit strategy, figuring out how many pit stops they're going to do, when they're going to take them. So that's going to be key here, as they've already completed 10 laps here tonight, is we are now 140 laps to go.
Yeah, a little ways to go yet here in New Hampshire. Great camera angles by Dave here. That was recently a blimp view. Was that a blimp view or a helicopter view, Dave?
That was the blimp.
That was the blimp, okay. Pretty good shots there. I like the blimp view. You get to see everybody on the track right now. So Carl Sheridan remains your race leader out front. Joseph Tice is going to so far in second spot. 1, 2, 3, 4 remain where they started. Ryan Dyson is coming from the 8th position. He's already cracked the top 5. Bill Lawrence started 7th, currently in 6th. Michael Lariah started 6th, currently in 7th. Michael Fennelson started 10th, in 8th. Corey Hoover started 11th and currently in 9th. And Bradley Burke has fallen off since the drop of the green flag. The biggest loser so far, as far as losing spots on the track, started 5th, currently in 10th. But we got a long ways to go. He hopefully can make them spots back up on track. Another driver that received an EOL, but he was starting in the back anyways, was Shane Tyrion. And Shane Tyrion started 18th. He is currently up to 13th right now. Everybody remaining single file, not really seeing any big old battles on the track. There might be a battle way in the back of the pack, Dave. I'm seeing Tyrion going under Riley Grant Davis, so I guess you could say he's now in 12th. There goes
that
the
power
8th.
move there by the 8, though. He just
Yeah.
got under there, kind of basically pushed the 24 out, said, I'm moving, you can't stop me.
Yeah, he took the opportunity to do that, and that's things like that you have to do on a track like New Hampshire is take opportunities, take advantage of certain situations that's happening out there on the racetrack, and that is exactly what Jacob Adams did. All right, kind of scrolling through the field here, see if there's any more side-by-side battles. We pretty much got bumper-to-bumper action, nobody pulling out of line. Nobody in position to try to take a pass. It's still all Carl Shed out front at New Hampshire.
Yeah, but, I mean, you got the 2 right behind him, Joseph Tice, Walker Thomas. They need the win. Same with Joe Lawrence. He's going to need a win here to secure a spot here into the round of 4.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see how this is all going to play out here. A little early to tell, but I'm curious on how everything's going to play with at least about 20 to 30 laps to go to see where everybody fans up. We do got to consider pit stops. Nobody has spun out yet. Everybody looks like they're managing their own very well. All right. Well, I'm kind of pulling up my history questions here. And I kind of got one. It's pretty easy. Let's just see if race fans at home can get it. Who was the first driver to win? Oh, we got a car up the track there. Who's that? That's Walker Thomas way up the track. Down 3 and 4. Turns 3 and 4. I think he got a little too hard entering the corner. He washed way up the track. He was already up in that upper groove by the wall, the gray area. nobody passed him. I thought Nick Massey could probably take advantage of that, but it just did not happen. But anyways, who was the first driver to win in a Cup Series at Hampshire? So the inaugural Cup Series race at New Hampshire, who won it? Answer will be revealed if we get a caution. How's that? If we get a caution, the answer will be revealed. Either way, the answer will be revealed, but...
Yeah, these guys, I don't know if there's going to be a caution. They're doing a pretty good job here taming New Hampshire. But, as we said, you know, they probably got another 20 laps here until they start the pit stops.
See Lawrence make that power move on entrance corner like that over Nick Massey there? Joe Lawrence moving himself up towards the front. He's actually cracked the top 5. He's currently 4th. Job on Joe Lawrence, keeping it consistent. Laria's on the bottom. He's trying to go after Dyson back there. Dyson gets a beautiful run on exit of the corner right next to the outside wall without scraping it. Down in turn number 3. You got some battles kind of heating up here. Pretty even on corner exit. I think Laria was just a little better on exit. Still sticking side by side, sticking that nose right on in there. Hoover might kind of think going with the Laria on the bottom to try to go for a spot, but Laria, this is actually the closest battle on the speedway. Definitely is. Laria, can he clear Dyson? I don't know. He does clear Dyson. And give Michael Laria 6th. Got a battle up towards the front here a little bit. We got Walker Thomas under fire from Joe Lawrence. So far, they're single file, but it looks like Hoover back there is trying to make a move. Hoover wants to make a move on Fennelson. Hoover dives it in there. Fennelson cuts him off. Not getting by me right now. Fennelson looks towards the bottom of the track. Dyson on the high side. Looks like Dyson kind of wants to have the position here, trying to use a little bit of side draft to the quarter panel to slow down the race car on the straightaways. Fennelson on the bottom. Dyson on the high side. Fennelson, can he clear the 28? I believe he will. He will. Here comes Hoover towards the inside, peeking out the last second, washing up the racetrack a little bit, kicking Dyson out of the groove. This means Bradley Burke's going to take advantage. Dyson's stuck on a higher line of the racetrack. Give that position a good old hard driving, and I think Hoover may have sustained that damage from that light contact. And guess what? I just looked at the replay. They made slight contact, and it gave front-end damage to the number 33 of Hoover, Corey Hoover.
Yeah, but good thing is it's only a mile track. I don't really think it's going to affect him too much, Tanner.
Don't think it's going to affect him too much either. I think he should be okay. It was very minor contact, but I do see the damage on that right front quarter panel. It's all Carl Shedd, who has led and will lead all 25 laps that have been completed so far in this race tonight for the New Hampshire 150. 125 laps to go. All right. Any more battles going on here? I kind of want to see some 3-wide action. I don't think that ain't gonna happen.
I don't know if you can really do 3-wide here in New Hampshire, can you?
Well, you can. It's just a matter of pound if you're going to make it work.
Especially if you feel you can get lucky and make it work.
If you're lucky, yeah. I mean, I felt like I was lucky a couple times and it actually ended in disaster, but we won't talk about that. Hey, it takes 3 to... I mean... You know how they say when you're dancing it takes 2 to tango? Well, it takes 3 to tango like that. The 3-wide.
Just taking a look here, Tanner. It looks like Joe Lawrence, he's moved up into 3rd. He's got around Walker Thomas here.
Lawrence has been moving up. Lawrence understands the situation, especially with the amount of drivers that are running tonight. And I think Lawrence understands that, so he's going to try to keep himself a good, consistent finish. And even if he doesn't win this race, I think a good, consistent finish will keep him, at least his momentum will increase. Whether he makes the championship, the points will decide that.
Unless he wins, then he's in.
Yeah. All right, I'm not seeing any more battles so far on track. I thought about going to Bradley Burke. Could have made a move on Hoover. Nothing produced there. Oh, do we have a car in the wall back there? I thought we did. Double check. No, we didn't. It's just a car out of groove. Drove in a little way too hard. That was Shane Tyrion. And he actually has nothing to lose. We do got a side-by-side battle back here, though.
Yeah, right in front of him. I think it's Jacob Adams is involved in that, but now they go back to the top.
Right up ahead of Adams. Hoover to the inside on Burke. Actually, Burke was taken away from that position. Hoover's going to fight back. Hoover actually had a nice run and corner exit. Battle up towards the front. Lariah underneath. Nick Massey brings Michael Lariah to 5th place. Kicks Nick Massey to 6th. Now, what's going on back there? Adams back there, side by side with the 88 of Adams.
Adams versus Adams.
What's that drink called? That alcohol beverage? Something Adams. Samuel Adams, was it?
Yeah, Samuel Adams.
Yeah. I don't think there's no relation. All right. So far, so good here at New Hampshire. It's always great to see some good play racing. Oh, who's battling up towards the front there? All right, I got to get eyes on somebody. That's Fennelson going underneath Nick Massey. Nick Massey really losing some spots in the last 5 laps or so.
Yeah, it looks like his tire wear's not quite where he wants his car here for the tire wear, but he's starting to drop towards the back a little bit here.
First car that's going to go a lap down, Tommy Imasi is going to go a lap down if he doesn't pick up the pace. He's coming to the start-finish line now. Race leader is at the finish line now. That is the gap between Shed and Imasi. 0.5 of a second separate the top 2 drivers. Lawrence currently in 3rd so far on heavy fire from Walker Thomas. Nothing producing yet between those 2 drivers. So far, single file. Dave, when are we going to see these pit stops? Are we thinking about them already?
Let's see. They're 35 laps in. I'd probably say within the next 10 to 15, but don't quote me on it. I'm usually not very right.
Look, I try to do my math every day as a driver on iRacing. Whenever I'm driving and there's a fuel involved, I'm always got my Texas Instrument calculator out and I'm doing a little math. So it's just me being the crew chief and the driver, and I just go on pit road and I let my crew do the best they can. Lariah looks like he's going to go underneath Thomas. Hey, he dove it in there, but did not walk up the track. Lariah side by side with Thomas. That will be a battle for 4th. Lariah gets it. Nice pass. We might have a battle going on in the back of the pack. We do. Hoover's on the high side. Ryan Dyson on the bottom. Can't get the run on off exit. Get the Hoover. Man, Hoover came really close to that outside wall. Oh, almost bumper tag there with Dyson and Adams. Okay, well, got my calculator out just to figure out who's come down pit road. Now, lap times have changed dramatically since we've seen qualification times. So let's kind of talk about a little bit of lap times here. Fastest car of the race is Carl Shed, race leader, 29.981. His last time by was a 39.80. So literally, if you want to round it off, a second between on lap times. And believe it or not, Dave, I don't know if you can see timing and scoring, but Carl Shed is the only driver to run a 29 in race trim. Everybody else is 30 seconds as their best lap time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking a look at that. The only one nearing, there's two of them. Walker Thomas ran a 30.055, and Joseph Tice, he ran a 30.038 for their fastest lap. So, not too far off, but looks like Carl Shed knows a little something here about New Hampshire the rest of these haven't figured out yet.
Tommy Amaski hit the pits. Looks like he's 4 laps down. He could be calling it a night, and he does. He calls it a night tonight. So Amaski will officially finish 18th tonight.
Got some 3-wide action going on here, Tanner.
Oh,
Joshua Adams back here. Well, they're back 2-wide, but they were going 3-wide a little bit with Ryan Dyson, Joshua, and Jacob Adams.
Getting a little dicey here, and that's always a good thing if you know how to play your cards right. Pretty good at racing, actually back here. Probably the best race of the night. These guys always put on a great show, Dave, and I know that better than pretty much anybody as far as watching these races. This league's actually a favorite of mine to call, just due to the amount of action. I mean, every time you go on the racetrack, believe it or not, you're telling a story. You're either gonna tell a story that you're gonna be conservative and you're not gonna battle, as we do see pit stops begin right now with 40 of Nick Massey on pit road. Or you're going to go out there and you're going to be aggressive and you're going to put on a show and you're going to battle side by side. You're going to battle as hard as you can, even if your tires are going to fall off. You're always out there. You're always trying to tell a story, trying to figure out how you're going to win this race or win a race. So far, this racing from Shane, who was that? Shane Tyrion, or no, excuse me, Joshua Adams on back has been pretty dicey. Oh, we got a new race leader, Tice.
Carl Shed.
Ooh, last time I checked, yeah, he just got around him, too.
Yeah, here comes Carl Shed. He is battling back.
Yep. Tice did lead that lap last time by. Shed takes it back. Lariah is going after Lawrence. Third, so we have 2 battles on the track. I know they're battling back of the pack there, about 8th spot. Looks like the leaders have kind of separated from each other a little bit. So far, the best battle on track. I mean, the third place is pretty good. Is heating up pretty good between 3 drivers: Lariah, Fennelson, and Lawrence. Third position, Joshua Adams and them drivers have kind of sorted them guys out. That was Adams, Dyson, Riley Grant Davis, and Jacob Adams. 4 drivers that really are now single file, but the first, right, actually the only battle on track is between Joe Lawrence and Michael Lariah for third. Almost contact, trying to keep tabs, trying to hold them. Lawrence is going to get the runoff corner exit. Here comes the Michael Fennelson on the high side. Wow. Making it work, that's for sure. That bottom groove of the track right down there, or that middle groove, whatever you want to call it, really darkening in 3 and 4, starting to really come in 1 and 2. Did anybody pit yet? Yeah, we have Nick Massey and Corey Hoover. They pitted already, trying to do the early pit strategy.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like they came in a little too early.
Well, everybody else remains out. Corey Hoover, it's been 2 laps. So 2 laps ago he pitted. Nick Massey was 4 laps ago, now 5 laps ago. So that's a 2-lap cushion between Nick Massey and Corey Hoover, with Massey ahead of Hoover. I'm just going to keep an eye on my map here just to see if we get one of them bubble drivers. One of them drivers come down pit road here. So far, everybody remains on the speedway. 48 laps, and we've been green since then. 3 laps to go till 100 laps, man. This race is going by quick.
Well, I mean, they're still turning right about 30, 31 second lap times, so that's still just about 2 laps every minute. These guys, green flag for the first stint. Well, we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break of the night, so we'll be right back here on the Dre Broadcasting Network.
Welcome back to the Upper Edge Racing League's Profile Machine Products Cup Series powered by Our Expression. This is the third race of the round of 8, the last race of round of 8. As it's all Carl shed, we have seen some pit stops begin. Let's start off with one of those drivers, Nick Massey, one of the early comers to pit road. He's currently in 10th, 14 laps to go was his last pit stop. Under the commercial break, Walker Thomas, Joe Lawrence, Bradley Burke have hit pit road. Corey Hoover, 12 laps to go. Ryan Dyson, Jacob Adams, Jamie Dyson have all made pit stops. Drivers who have yet to make a pit stop, separated by 24, 25 seconds, 26 seconds to count. Actually, we do have more drivers hitting the pits right now. Michael Araya hitting the pits down in pit road. He is Shane Tyrion, the 838, is also hitting the pits. So 2 drivers already on the lead lap hitting pit road. Drivers that have yet to pit, Carl Shed, your race leader, who's led every single lap since dropping the green flag. Joseph Tice is in second. Third place is Michael Fendelson. Fourth, Joshua Adams. Riley Grant Davis rounding off the top 5. Tom Bourne and Robert Kenny have also yet to hit pit road. Here comes Fendelson down pit road right now. And that is going to conclude green flag pit stops once everybody cycles around. You'll see drivers come down pit road like the leaders eventually here pretty soon. I'm just trying to see what's the longest a driver has made it tonight on fuel. That is going to be a very key thing. New Hampshire can mean some fuel mileage races. Don't know if anybody remembers the 2010 fall race at New Hampshire when Tony Stewart ran out of gas coming to the white flag. I don't know if anybody remembers that or not, but I certainly do. Clint Boyer won that race that day.
Well, I mean, look here. You got Carl Shedd, Joseph Tice, Joshua Adams, and Riley Grant Davis. 59 laps since they pitted. But Michael Fendelson, he is pitted. Robert Kenny, Tom Bourne still need to pit. But Nick Massey, Joe Lawrence, Walker Thomas, Bradley Burt, all back on the lead lap, but have pitted as well.
Yeah, I questioned pitting really early on Nick Massey and Corey Hoover's part. Hoover didn't really make much positions up on the racetrack, Dave. He's currently in 11th position. He's actually a lap down. Where is Hoover on the track right now compared to leaders? The leaders are at the start-finish line. Hoover is entering turn 1 and 2, so he's got a little ways to go to capture his lap back, unless we decide to get a caution flag, and providing he's not involved in the caution, he will receive the lucky dog. But so far, New Hampshire has produced some pretty good green flag racing thus far today, and we've been green flagged since the start of the race, so that was 61 laps to go, excuse me.
Actually, Tanner, Corey Hoover's got back around Carl Shedd. He's back on the lead lap. But he's
really?
Yeah, he's right in front of the 45 of Carl Shedd. But Corey Hoover's back on the lead lap.
All right, my timing and scoring is all messed up here. It's behind. There we go. I think I got it updated now.
Well, it's okay, Tanner. I mean, we know you're a Green Bay Packers fan.
Oh, now that hurt. All right, so now I think Carl Shedd's getting on the radio saying he's going to be pitting. So we'll keep an eye on Shed to see if he pits. Everybody has taken 4 tires. Yeah, everybody's taken 4 tires according to their pit times. So let's see if Shed pits this time by. I'm only counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers that have yet to make a pit stop. It'll be Tom Bourne, Robert Kenny, who are in 8th and 10th. And then you got the top 4 drivers who have yet to make a pit stop. And actually, I thought Shed was getting on the radio saying he was coming down pit road. Looks like it didn't happen this time by. They're still extending that to 64 laps. Keep an eye on the race leaders here. We got some pretty good old battles for position on track ahead of the race leaders there that are on much fresher tires.
I think I know what Carl Shedd and Joseph Tice are doing. They're going to try to make us on just a 2 pit stop race.
I want to say one stop.
I don't know if they can make it enough. I mean, we got 86 laps to go. We've got 65 laps since they pitted. They've gone green flag. Carl Shedd leading 63 of those laps. Joseph Tice leading 1. So they might be trying to make it on 1 pit stop.
All right. So let's. All right. Let me break out the calculator. So far, they have made. Oh, we got a car headed pit road. That's Jamie Dyson. He's going another lap down here, so he's not non-factor there. But 66 laps so far for the leaders for the top. Actually, 66 laps for the top 4 drivers. You pit now, 85 laps to go. That's one more pit stop. That means you'll have to pit with at least about 25 to 30 laps to go. That's one pit stop.
Right, but what I'm thinking is they might try to push us to where they can get into that pit window and only have to pit one time. Because now there's 67 laps. We have 84 to go. So they probably got about just 10 more laps to run. And then they'll be able to make it on fuel only on one pit stop.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's the plan. I'm just a little curious on the drivers that have pitted a little too early. Who were the drivers? One of them was Nick Massey. The other one was Hoover. I think those drivers kind of pitted just a little too early. Just this is my opinion, but as far as me trying to break out the calculator, be the Larry McReynolds in the booth. But I tell you what, it is the top 4 drivers who are the only drivers on track that have yet to make a pit stop, with the exception of Tom Bourne and Robert Kenny, who've already went a lap down. They've actually just stayed out there on the track, just trying to extend as far as they can go. Really a non-factor at this point.
Yeah,
Come on, boys.
What are they going to do? 82 laps to go. They are now at 69 laps on their tires and fuel.
Everybody pitted, so that gave me an indicator that, okay, these guys are kind of getting low on fuel. I tell you what, I don't want to say it's impossible to make another 10 laps, but I tell you what, unless you're really going to beg on a fuel mileage race here to remain green flag racing, holy crap, that would be awesome.
Well, here's another thing to take a look at here. Joe Lawrence is running back in 5th position. He's only got 19 laps on his tires. He's only 18 seconds back from Carl Shed. So if Carl Shed comes down, that's going to give the race lead, when those 4 pit, that's going to give that race lead back to Joe Lawrence.
That's true, but I'm also banking on the fresher tire aspect. You know what I mean? Okay, he's going to have fresher tires. Joe Lawrence really wants to win. He kind of needs to win with the amount of drivers that have shown up tonight. Joe Lawrence is on the lead lap, 19 seconds behind the race leader. That's definitely true. He would be able to take over the race lead. He's back on the lead lap. I do believe those drivers ahead are going to take over some positions on track.
Well, here's the thing, Tanner. 72 laps they've ran now. We're at 79 laps to go. They got to go 5 more laps. Then that means they will have enough to be able to make it on just one pit stop.
Holy moly, and if they do, that's their strategy. That's their gamble. And I believe those top 4 drivers, that's their strategy. They're going to try to go for it. I want to see what's the fuel window here. Can they get it in? Can they make it? So far, they've stayed out. Lawrence is already trying to catch Riley Grant Davis. Riley Grant Davis is in the middle of 3 and 4. Here comes Lawrence in the middle of 3 and 4. Those 2 drivers are only separated by a second. A little over a second. Oh boy, here we go. Come on, let's see if anybody makes a pit stop here. Nope, not the top 2 drivers. What a run for Joseph Tice, though. I believe Joseph Tice can finish where he's at tonight. I think he'll make it.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking really good in second, but I tell you what, let's go ahead and do a rundown here. Let's take a close look at all these paints here. So we take a look at our race leader, the 45, Carl Shed. He is looking good in that Chef Andy's machine right there. Looking good looking paint scheme there. Joseph Tice, he's in the Proto Simtech machine. Definitely the Tech Crunch, good looking green machine. Joshua Adams sitting right now in 3rd place with the 88 iBuyPower Valvoline machine. Sitting right here in 4th is going to be Joe Lawrence. He's got the MRE machine, the Great Lakes concrete on the hood there. Our expression there on the back deck lid, the black yellow looks good. Riley Grant Davis. Good looking paint scheme there. Same paint scheme that Chase Elliott runs in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. Good looking paint there. Bradley Burt, he's got the Bass Pro Shop Tracker Boats Jigs black and orange and camo machine going. Nick Massey, he's in the 48 iBuyPower, the JeffGluck.com machine. Walker Thomas sitting there in 6 with some heavy front end damage on that Hoosier machine. Michael Fennelson in the black, pink, and pink Navy Mobile 1 machine. Michael Laraya, he's got a paint scheme there for Jimmy Johnson, the 44 Lowe's paint scheme right there. Corey Huber, he's got the SEM machine in that black and white, looking pretty good. Ryan Dyson in the London Recreational Racing LRR machine. Jacob Adams in the iBuyPower. Joshua Adams in the iBuyPower. Joseph Tice, which he must have pitted because he was up front there. Tom Bourne coming down on pit road in the G Fuel. Well, that's a good looking paint scheme there. Robert Kenny in the Cross the Stripe machine. And Jamie Dyson in our R Expression machine. So there's a look at all the paints out there tonight there, Tanner.
Yeah, I mean, that's one great thing I love about this league too is the paint schemes that these drivers come up with. As you just mentioned it when you were going through your rundown, there's pit stops going on. Guess what? Some of the leaders went in, and that would mean the race leader did go in and hand the lead off to Joe Lawrence. So with that being said, Joseph Tice and Carl Shedd have now pitted. They pitted right on the bubble there, Dave. Right on the bubble on making it to the end. And so did Joshua Adams. So did Riley Grant Davis. So, you know, those 4 drivers are on the same strategy. So, that being said, that hands the lead over to Joe Lawrence. But, excuse me, Lawrence has those drivers who pretty much just passed him. Oh, the 54 machine of Tom Bourne's headed to pit road. Something's not looking good, but the 88 is ahead of Joe Lawrence. Now, let's be able to pull away. Where did Shedd go? Carl Shedd in the 45. Where did he go?
He is back in 12th position. So here's the thing. They went in right on the bubble, right? But here's the thing. Carl Shedd, Joseph Tice, they got to come back through the field, which means they have to get on the ball a little bit, which means they can't just kind of sit back and conserve back when they were running first and second. But also, right now, Joseph Tice is in front of Carl Shedd. So Carl Shedd is now running right behind Joseph Tice. But these guys got to come through the field here as they are now sitting in 11th and 12th position.
All right. Let's check out some battles on the racetrack here. Nothing's going on for second or third. If anything could happen, who is behind Walker Thomas there? Walker Thomas and Nick Massey. Is that for position? Yes, it is. That would be for position. They start side-by-side battling. There's Hoover in 7th. 8th is Ryan Dyson. Oh, man, why am I clicking on the pace car? Jacob Adams is in 9th and running out the top 10. So they're all kind of pretty separated at the moment. If there's a battle that could happen on track, it might be between Thomas and Nick Massey. That could be a battle that we could see on the racetrack. Actually, there's a battle back there between Dyson and Hoover. Battle for 8th. Or, excuse me, 7th. Battle for 7th. No contest, fresher tires. Dyson gets around Hoover. All right, so with that being said, I want to know lap times here between the drivers that already pitted to the ones that early pit. Lap times. Fastest lap time last time by the start-finish line was Joseph Tice with 30.454 compared to Joe Lawrence's 30.880. So 0.4 of a second quicker than the race leader. And that's actually each lap fault too. So here's how I'm going to fit this strategy in. 4 drivers that pitted: Joseph Tice, Carl Shedd, Joshua Adams, and Riley Grant Davis. They are going to try to make it to the end without pitting. Everybody else is going to have to pit. Interesting strategy call, Dave. I tell you what, that's my theory. I'm sticking with it. At least that's what my calculator is saying.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. I mean, the only difference was though, Joseph Tice and Carl Shedd were out front that first part of the race, but now they got to come back through the field, which means they've got to burn up a little bit more fuel. They don't have the clean air that they used to have. So, is that going to make them eat up a little bit more fuel, or are they going to have to come in and top off? I mean, it's dicey either way.
It is a little dicey. I absolutely agree. It is very dicey, but I mean, sometimes you really gotta know when you're gonna pit and know when you're gonna lay out your strategy. That's for sure. But tonight we are also not just on YouTube, folks. No, if you're watching us on YouTube, great. We are also live on iRacing Live, and that would be www.iracing.com/live. Once again, that's www.iracing.com/live. And you are watching the Upper Edge Racing League's Profile Machine Products Cup Series, powered by Our Expression, live here on the Dre Broadcasting Network. All right. So let's kind of give you a little bit of a top 10 rundown after the pit stops. Joe Lawrence, currently your race leader. He's pretty much in a one must-win scenario just based upon how many drivers have shown up tonight. And currently we only have 13 drivers on the lead lap. So if he wins, he goes on to the next round. And he's actually 8th in the championship standings since this is the final round of the round of 8. Michael Laraya in second, about 4.5 seconds back from Joe Lawrence. Bradley Burke just behind him in the 51 is in third. Michael Fennelson right behind him is in fourth. Walker Thomas is currently in fifth. Nick Massey 6th. Ryan Dyson in 7th. 8th place Jacob Adams. Corey Hoover is rounding off in 9th, rounding off that top 10, Shane Tyrion. Tyrion is actually getting passed by Joseph Tice. Tice is actually have the fresher tires of the two drivers. No contest. Here comes Carl Shedd along the outside, who's going to follow. So Shane Tyrion's going to lose 2 spots on the speedway.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are 61 laps remaining here at tonight's race. So far, a caution-free race here at New Hampshire. So we're going to go ahead and take our second commercial break of the night, give everybody a chance to refill their drinks. We'll be right back here on the Dre Broadcasting Network, here for the final race of round of 8 in New Hampshire. We'll be right back.
Don't let your first date be your last. Visit People Against Distracted Driving at PADD.org.
Welcome back, folks, to the New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the 2017 Upper Edge Racing League's Profile Machine Products Cup Series, powered by our Expression Round 8, last race of Round 8. Live here on the Dre Broadcasting Network, Joe Lawrence remaining on the racetrack. He is your race leader by about 2 seconds ahead of Michael Lariah. Fourth place, Michael Fennelson. Bradley Burke in fourth, and Walker Thomas remaining that top 5. Now, to the drivers that have pitted and actually are starting to move up, as Walker Thomas is now under attack for that top 5 spot from one of the drivers that are really going to gamble to the end, not going to make another pit stop. That is Joseph Tice. He's battling Walker Thomas for 5th, and he looks like he's going to successfully pass him on entrance here of turn number 1. He will. Shane Terrian also as well trying to get underneath. Shane Terrian's actually a lap down, so that's not for position. But we have Carl Shed behind Tice on the same strategy as Carl Shed's on the same strategy as Joseph Tice. So is the 88 of Adams, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and Riley Grant Davis. I gotta double check my information, make sure that's 100% true. Is that true there, Dave? We have Nick Massey and Ryan Dyson. What am I talking about? But anywho, Joe Lawrence hits the pit here, Dave. He's our race leader. He's down pit road. Walker Thomas is hitting the pits. That turned the lead over to Michael Lariah.
Yeah, Michael Lariah is going to lead some laps here tonight.
Yeah, Lariah, first time out front tonight. This race has been dominated before the green flag pit stop started by Carl Shed. No one was really able to challenge Shed except Joseph Tice one time for 1 lap. See, Corey Hoover had a pit. He's a lap down. Ryan Dyson had a pit.
Michael Lariah down on pit road.
Here's our race leader, Lariah, down the pit. And that race lead over to Michael Fennelson. Bradley Burke stays out. Okay, so here's where it's going to get interesting. Burke's got a pit. Behind him, he has Tice and Shed. He's going to get passed if he stays out.
Fennelson's got a pit, too. He's got 46 laps since his last pit.
He does, but I think that the next... Oh, here comes Burke, so cancel that out. So Fennelson's the only one out front, so realistically, these guys are kind of hoping for a caution flag. Or at least Fennelson's hoping for a caution flag. I bet Joseph Tyson Shed, both those drivers really want to try to have this green to the end. Got 47 laps remaining, coming to 46. So Burke's on pit road. He should be leaving pit road anytime now. Here comes Fennelson. Michael Fennelson hitting the pits after 47 laps. Turn the race lead over to Joseph Tice for the second time today. followed closely by Carl Shed by
No.
0.2 of a second.
Here's the question. Do you think Carl Shed's going to push the issue to go for the win? Or you think he's content with second and letting Joseph Tice come away with a win and locking himself into the chase?
Well, that's a very good question. Very good question, Dave. Thank you for bringing that up. Reason why Carl Shed won Texas. Joseph Tice is on the kind of on the bottom. Where is he in the points? I know he was in a win scenario. I gotta look here.
He was 6th in points.
6th in points, 19 points back. He was. That's 10 points from Michael Araya. So, man, I'd say if you really can squeeze out 11 points from Walker Thomas. Where's Walker Thomas at right now? He's third.
He's third, 1 point ahead of Michael Araya.
Walker Thomas currently in 13th.
Laraya's in 7th, so if it finished the way it did right now, Michael Araya would lock himself in, and
I think Tice would get it over points because Thomas is literally 13th right now.
We'll see. Tice would get in on the win, but I think Michael Araya is ahead of Walker or Thomas enough that he would jump in and take that 4th position on points.
I told you people, I'm terrible at math, so hold on, kind of give me a second here. We do got a huge battle in turn 1 here, Dave. Let's keep eyes on it where Joseph Tice at. He's in a world of a mess of a bunch of drivers who have already pitted. Joseph Tice is getting passed by Bradley Burke. Behind him is Ryan Dyson, Walker Thomas, and then Carl Shed. So let's just kind of keep an eyes on this. And as I'm going to do my little bit of a math here, as Dave, you can help call out the action as well, as you have been all day. I just got to figure this a little bit of math out. Walker Thomas had 2,081 coming into this race. Compared,
he was 1 point ahead of Michael Araya. If the race ended right now, Joseph Tice would get in on the win, but Michael Araya is far enough ahead of Walker Thomas because they are 6 positions apart. That would actually put Michael Araya ahead of Walker Thomas on points, and that would put Michael Araya into the round of 4.
Okay, I think I figured it out. Between Thomas and Tice, I think Laraya's all right so far, but Thomas and Tice is leading the race. Tice has got to win this race. If he wins this race, that's game over for Walker Thomas, or at least somebody in that top 4. But if Tice finishes second, Thomas finishes where he's at, they would be tied mathematically.
But, see, the question is, though, Michael Araya is ahead of Walker Thomas, so he would actually jump in front of the points, so he would be locked in for sure.
Yeah, so if Tice wins this race, Laraya's in, Thomas is out.
Unless Walker Thomas can make his way through the field. But there's only 1 point standing between Michael Araya and Walker Thomas. So he's got to finish within 1 position. Only 1 position. If he finishes any more than 1 position behind Michael Araya, if Tice was to win this race, then Walker Thomas will be out, Michael Araya will be in.
Swamp Rat, it's good seeing you in the chat tonight. It's going good here in the booth. Going good for the round of 8 at New Hampshire for the Upper Edge Racing Profile Machine Products Cup Series. Hopefully all is well with you. Man, Dave, you got me doing all sorts of kind of math here. Holy cow. Okay. So Carl Shed, he's right behind Tice, so it's just a matter, can he pass him? Oh, boy. I like the strategy those guys are on, though. I mean, they ain't going to pit. They're not going to pit, boys.
Well, no. I mean, we got 38 laps to go. They only have 38 laps on their tires. We've seen him go 75, 76 laps. So, but the question is, how much fuel did they use getting through that field?
The more you're on the gas, the more you're using the fuel, but you could let that car coast in the middle of the corner, so technically you're saving just a tick in the middle of the corner, unless you can get into the corner burp it down to a good amount of speed to where you can coast around the corner, but at the same time you're holding the clutch, which can help you save a little gas. I don't know. All I know is those guys pitted on a borderline on 73 laps to go. Oh boy. All right. So earlier I asked a trivia question regarding New Hampshire. Who won the inaugural Cup race here at New Hampshire? Again, who won the inaugural Cup race here at New Hampshire? I just wonder how many use Google.
I'm not even going to guess because I'm not going to use Google. I'm not going to cheat. I should, but I'm not going to. So,
well,
that's a good question, though.
It is a good question. I know who it is, though, and I'm going to tell you right now. It was Rusty Wallace. Rusty Wallace won the inaugural New Hampshire Cup race, and that was back in 1993, believe it or not, even though the track was built in 1990.
Good old Rusty.
Miller, the number 2 Miller Lite.
The black and yellow. I believe it was the black and yellow Miller Lite, wasn't it?
I think it was Genuine High Life, I believe it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks, in the chat tonight. You know what? I'm actually going to double check to make sure that it was. Yep, Miller Genuine Draft. It was the black and yellow. You're right there, Dave.
Yeah, gotta love that black and yellow. Just like I'm a Pittsburgh fan. Go Steelers, go Penguins.
Go Pack, go. That's all I gotta say.
Unfortunately, I don't know if the Pack's gonna make the playoffs there, Tanner. I mean, they did lose their star.
Yeah, we did, and we've struggled since. And I don't want to get on the bandwagon just yet, even though we did beat the Bears. But nonetheless, we're not talking football here. We're talking racing. We're talking upper edge. That's what we're here for up here in the booth. Maybe you and I can debate about that later. I mean, I do tend to agree with you on a lot of it, but
well,
so far...
We just saw Joe Lawrence. He got around the 8 of Jacob Adams. He moved up into 3rd. He's also in one of those must-wins as he's sitting 8th in points right now. 25 points back from the leader, Shane Terrian, in points.
Man, he'll make up points, but I don't know if he's going to make it as strong of a run as he did. Because you got to remember, Joe Lawrence had a strong outing into the chase. Was it Chicagoland he won earlier this year? I'm going to double-check his statistical information just to double check here. Where's Mr. Joe Lawrence? Joe Lawrence, last time he won was at Richmond, so he hasn't won since Richmond. He did finish 2nd at Chicagoland. Okay. Finished 14th at Watkins Glen. Finished 6th at Martinsville. And 8th at Texas. And a 16th at Talladega. But he did win Richmond about a month ago in October. All right, Dave, we're counting down to our laps. About 39 laps to go. Coming to 38 to go. What do you think between the top 2 drivers? Do you think Carl Shedd's going to get around Tice, or do you think Tice is going to put up that fight and try to snatch his victory? Even though Shedd's been the dominant car of the day and has led the most laps, but I think Tice is up there in the ballpark with him.
Well, here's the only thing, Tanner. I think they're teammates.
Are they really?
I think they are teammates, so I don't think Carl Shedd's going to push the fact. I think he's going to let his teammate come away with a win. I mean, these guys are 11.8 seconds ahead of Joe Lawrence. So they've got about almost a 12-second gap, but I don't think Carl Shedd is going to push the issue. I think he's going to kind of just go back, and that way he has a teammate here in the final 4.
You know what? Tice and Shedd are teammates.
So that adds a whole nother dynamic. I mean, to be honest, Shedd doesn't need to win. He just doesn't need to.
No, he doesn't need to win. That's a good point. All right, teammate. You can try to, we can get you to win this race, but would you really want to let your teammate win this race and just kind of hog the championship for yourself just a little bit? Because if your teammate walks into the final 4 and all of a sudden beats you, You two are going to be arguing, hey man, you owe me from New Hampshire.
Right, but here's another aspect. If you get beat by anybody, who would you rather be beat by? Your own teammate or someone else on another team?
Me personally, neither.
True, but if you're going to lose, would you rather lose to your teammate or would you rather lose to someone on another team?
Oh, I'd rather lose my teammate because I just know how much talent is out there. But we do got some pretty cool battles going on in the back of the pack. And actually, not a battle for position. I think we might have a battle between Thomas and Dyson for 10th if Thomas does get the Dyson. All right. Actually, there's no big battles on track, Dave. That's why I have not been talking about battles on track. Is because everybody's all fanned out. They're sprung out. But here comes Walker Thomas trying to get underneath Ryan Dyson. That is battle for position. Oh, Thomas got really loose off corner eggs of turn number 2.
Good save there by Walker Thomas, though. I mean, that could have been disastrous for him. But, I mean, he's moved up into 11th position now. Michael Laraya is still running right there in 4th, so we're going to keep an eye on that because that's going to come down to points here because he has got to make up those points if he wants to. Basically, if it ends, like I said right now, Tice wins, he gets on the win. Michael Laraya is going to get in on points due to where Walker Thomas is right now.
Man, Thomas is driving the wheels off that thing. That's twice he got a little loose off of turn number 2. And I can't help but notice the back bumper of Walker Thomas. On the bottom right back bumper, it literally says, #you got this. He does got it because he's wheeling and dealing it.
Taking a look at the race report, folks. No cautions, no caution laps. 6 lead changes. Fastest lap of the night is actually, it's going to change. It was Carl Shed with a 29.981. New fastest lap on the track is going to go to Michael Laraya with a 29.974. That's actually only going to put 3 of us that broke into the 29s here tonight.
So Thomas is going to continue to try to work on Ryan Dyson, but Shed is really close to his teammate Joseph Tice. I just wonder if these guys are going to play nice or not.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, 22 laps to go. We're going to take our final commercial break of the night. We're going to bring you the conclusion of the race. We're going to get Tanner to do a little bit of math here at the end of the race, see who our top 4, who's moving on to the round of 4. We'll be right back here on the Dre Broadcasting Network.
Welcome back, folks. We're 13 laps away from the checkered flag for the New Hampshire 150 for the Profile Machine Products Cup Series, powered by our Expression for the Upper Edge Racing League. The round of 8 is going to conclude tonight. Then we go to a round of 4 beginning at Michigan in 2 weeks' time. Joseph Tice is about a tenth ahead of his teammate Carl Shedd. I'm sure those two drivers are trying to battle here. Maybe we like to battle between the two. Joe Lawrence is catching, but I don't think he's going to have enough time to gain on the leaders. Michael Araya is currently in second. He actually just got fourth. Just got passed by Fennelson. Fennelson to fourth, Araya to fifth. Then at sixth place is Bradley Burke. Joshua Adams in seventh. Nick Massey in eighth. Ninth place is Riley Grant Davis. Rounding out the top 10, Ryan Dyson. And actually, Dyson and Thomas were battling side by side. They're still battling here. Thomas going underneath Dyson here. Oh, ever so close. Nothing included. Drivers. So far, Dyson still holding on to the ninth spot. And actually, Walker got by that driver, Riley Grant Davis, who was in the top 10. Riley jumps out of the top 10 to 11th.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, though. Tice, 65 laps. Carl Shedd, 65 laps. Or no, Tice, 66. Shedd, 65 laps.
Oh, caution.
40. Oh, no. Oh, that's going to change things.
Oh, crash on the front straightaway, and Joe Lawrence is involved.
Well, let's pull up the Dre Broadcasting Instant Replay for our first caution of the night. That is going to involve the 78 of Joe Lawrence. After such a strong run here, let's take a look, see if we can see what happened. Looks like Joe Lawrence are coming out of the turn. They just broke. That back end just broke way loose, and he went all the way around. Didn't hit nothing, but he did spin all the way around.
Man, if he got hit by anybody, it was the Jacob Adams. Holy cow. Oh, brother. Well, that changes everything with less than 10 laps to go. So with that being said, do you pit? Do you stay out? What do you do? I say you have to come down and get tires. You just have to. I think tires is king. I mean, right now, pit road will be open once they catch the pace car. Pit road's actually open now. Seeing leaders come in. They are hitting pit road. 45 miles an hour is pit road pace speed. Where's the pace car at? Pace car, lucky dog, Corey Hoover. I think. Oh, Robert Kenny maybe? Yeah, Robert Kenny gets the lucky. Driver stays out, Jacob Adams.
Joe Lawrence also stays out.
Riley Grant Davis.
Ryan Dyson.
Michael Laraya, but these guys just pitted. Holy cow, did I just see that? That was a 4-tire pit stop. Now, I know everybody was still trying to catch up. And actually, Tice and Shedd just pitted, so... I don't know how this is going to play out. This is getting crazy. You got to try something, though. Alright, so my live timing and scoring shut down on me for whatever reason. I can't get it, uploaded again. But so I'm using iRacings here, Dave. So you got to help me out here.
Here's what we got. Ryan Dyson did not pit. 47 laps since he last pitted.
Okay.
He's out in lead. Joseph Tice is second. He just pitted. Carl Shedd, same. Joe Lawrence currently, fourth is going to be Corey Hoover, who also did not pit, 49 laps. Michael Fennelson is going to be fifth. Bradley Burke sixth. Joshua Adams seventh. Nick Massey 8th. Joe Lawrence is going to move back into 9th. Michael Araya sitting in 10th. Now here's the thing. Michael Araya now back in 10th, but Walker Thomas in 11th. And there's only 1 point separating these guys in the points. But if Ryan Dyson comes away with a win, which he was in basically a must-win scenario, if Ryan Dyson wins, and it's sitting right now, Walker Thomas and Michael Araya would be tied.
Holy moly.
So this is going to be interesting with Ryan Dyson up here. If he can hold off Tice and Carl Shed and come away with a win, he's going to be in.
Do you have on record that Corey Hoover pitted or no?
Corey Hoover did not pit. He's got 50 laps on his tires.
Okay, so the race leaders, they pitted, but they actually, a pit road opened ahead of time to where they can pit, and everybody else is still trying to catch up. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know, that ain't gonna work. But you gotta try it.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be interesting here. They should be getting a 1 to green. We are going to have us a 4-lap shootout, which means we've got 6 laps to go as they cross the finish line. That'll be 5. We'll get the green flag with 4 laps to go, which means the next flag will end the race. But there goes Michael Araya, the 44. He is going to be back. Oh, here's the thing, though. Michael Araya, lead lap. So, technically, he is going to make up that point on Walker Thomas because Walker Thomas is 1 lap down.
Just goes to show how much can change on a caution flag at a snap of a finger, because the points have been flip-flopped so many times in the last, 20 laps. I shouldn't say last 20 laps, in the last, 5 laps under this caution. So here we go. When we get the green flag, we're going to get 4 laps to go. Next flag will end the race. iRacing does not have green-white checkers. So let's get her done. Let's see. Ryan Dyson, stand out, taking a gamble. It's a pretty much that's a must kind of deal for Ryan Dyson. Joseph Tice, same scenario. There's Carl Shed, who's won already. Here we go. Oh, he spins the tires, big time. Oh, this is bad. And Ryan Dyson, 3 wide, down in turn number 1. The battle's on point for the lead. Corey Hoover can't. Oh, now they're beating bumpers back there. 3 wide off turn number 2. We got a hornet's nest because drivers who stayed out tried to take a gamble. It ain't working out. We're still 3 wide back there.
Another battle we got to watch is where Michael Araya is.
Oh, Dyson's around by Joe Lawrence. Saves it. Oh, we got a caution. Walker Thomas and Corey Hoover into the wall. Oh, big accident on the front straightaway. Caution is out, and the race is over.
Oh, boy. You know what that's going to do, though? Okay, so let's take a look at the replay before I go over this for you, Tanner, because I've got it figured out already. Taking a look here at the replay, this is going to involve Walker Thomas in it, as they were beating and banging 3 wide out of the turn, and it just looks like a bunch of cars go around. Let's take a look here from the blimp view, see if we can get a good shot at all this battling going on. But unfortunately, this is going to cost Walker Thomas, as he got hit hard.
You have an onboard of Riley Grant Davis?
So, unfortunately, I do not right now. But, taking a look at the points, Joseph Tice is going to win this race. He is in. Now, I told you before that Michael Araya and Walker Thomas was 1 position right behind each other. But since Walker Thomas got involved in that incident, he dropped back to 14th position. Michael Araya is in 10th. That is going to put Michael Araya, he is going to be in the round of 4. Walker Thomas is out. So our next round, our round of 4, is going to include Shane Tyrion, Carl Shed, Michael Araya, and Joseph Tice. That we have our round of 4, Tanner.
Wow, unbelievable. Unbelievable. That was a whale of a finish, though, too. Anything can happen in them closing stages for sure. At New Hampshire, we are on the white flag lap. So let's see the race leaders come across the finish line here. We're in turn 3 and 4 right now under caution. Joseph Tice is going to get the checkered flag. Carl Shed's going to finish in 2nd. And these are all unofficial race results at the moment. Coming to the line and advancing to the round of 4 to fight for the championship is Joseph Tice, winning at New Hampshire.
He has secured himself in and finishing out. That is going to put Michael Araya, he is going to be in the round of 4. So we have our round of 4 starting, not next week. We're off next week for the Thanksgiving weekend. But we have Shane Terrian, Carl Shedd, Joseph Tice, Michael Lariah. They are going to be battling it out for 3 races to become this season's champion.
All right. Well, I want to try to get some interviews here. So, folks, I am getting some drivers into the interview room, and that's going to be Shedd and Tice. And who was that? Michael Fennelson, 44. We got Michael Fennelson to 14.
Michael Lariah, Fennelson finished 3rd, but Michael Lariah is going to be in the round of 4 as well.
Heck of a race, man. Heck of a race. Trying to move Fennelson up here since Discord is a little different than TeamSpeak. All right. I got them all 3 in the interview room here. So, that being said, let's talk to our race winner, Joseph Tice. Joseph Tice, Stray Broadcasting Network, do you have a copy?
10-4, I got you guys.
Man, oh man, you get yourself locked into the round of 4 for the chance to fight for the Profile Machines Products Cup Series Championship, and you did it by winning, even though you were on the bottom of the barrel of the final 8. But hey, finally get it done tonight. Congratulations. Tell me about your race tonight in New Hampshire on an almost caution-free basis.
Oh man, my heart's still beating. I cannot believe this. This is honestly one of my worst tracks, and I got to thank my teammate Carl Shedd. He worked with me for hours and hours. I spent so much time practicing this track this week, and you can tell, he's really great at this track. So I got to give it up to him. But yeah, man, I mean, this was a great race. We only had, 2 cautions at the very end. I was super happy with my pace and, just running out there with Carl. And I was a little worried. I saw Joe Lawrence coming up, as the last were winding down, and I knew he had fresher tires. I was wondering if he would get to us before the end. And then the caution came out and kind of threw everything in whack. But I noticed we were really far strung out, and I just gunned it and tried to catch the guy in front of me as quick as possible and got 4 tires kind of free almost. Nobody else got to pit. So that was lucky, and that was awesome.
How did you base upon your pit stop where you're like, okay, we're only going to make this a 1-stop race? I mean, that was my vibe that I was getting. You're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong, but based upon how many laps you guys ran out there and how many laps to go, it looked like that was going to be your final pit stop. What would have been your final pit stop?
Yeah, that was the plan all along. Like I said, me and Carl were working, and we noticed, the tires don't really fall off a whole lot. About second and a half, 2 at the very most, and it doesn't start getting close to 2 until very towards the end of the run. And we just figured, well, with that little fall off, we'll make 1 stop in the middle, and that'll be our strategy. So yeah, that was our plan from the beginning.
Joseph, we haven't seen you in Victory Lane since Dover back in September, and now you come a couple months later, and now you have 2 drivers of the Rapolo Brothers Racing in the Final 4. And quite frankly, you really didn't need to say a word because, quite frankly, the expression in your voice on how you're speaking tonight really expresses how much it means to you guys to be fighting for the championship over there on that racing team.
Oh, yeah, it's totally awesome. Carl Shedd's my teammate. He's my best friend. He taught me how to race the car correctly, and just to be able to fight with him tooth and nail till the end, that's just really awesome. I love it for our team, and I love it that I get to battle him.
Yeah, absolutely. And now you have multiple wins on the season so far this year. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you have this will be your 4th win of the season. Now, round of 4, 3 races left: Michigan, Phoenix, Homestead. Are any of those tracks you're looking forward to? What could be the challenge in those 3 tracks?
Man, I could not be more excited for 3 tracks in a round. I've said all year long to my teammates, like, those are 3 of my best tracks, and if I can get to the final, I'll really be a threat. Phoenix is kind of the weaker of the 3 tracks, but I love all 3 of them, and I'm really good at all 3 of them. And I've won at Michigan before, and I've won at Homestead before, so I am definitely psyched for getting to the final round. And, now we just do more work and do more work.
Absolutely, got to keep picking away at it. And I tell you guys worked well as a team all season long. Joseph, congratulations on the win tonight. Congratulations on making it to the round of 4. And best of luck to you in the next 3 races.
All right, yeah, thanks. Real quickly, I want to shout out to my sponsors, TechCrunch and AMD. This TechCrunch car has been in victory lane now 3 out of my 4 times, and I know green race cars are supposed to be bad luck, but this one's pretty good to me. But I want to thank my teammates, Carl and Trevor, and Bruce and Adam and Eric. Love you guys a lot. Thank Ryan and thank Michael Laraya. He doesn't get a lot of the credit, but he does a lot for this league too. And thank you guys for broadcasting. It's a hell of a show.
We thank you, Joseph, for taking the time to come talk with us tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
That was Joseph Tice, folks, finishing P1, and most importantly, he advances to the round of 4 by winning this race tonight. Let's talk to his teammate, Carl Shed. And Carl Shed, you have a copy.
I got you.
Carl, you were one of the dominant cars tonight, and we were just heard from your teammate, Joseph Tice. A lot of credit's going to have to go to you on helping him out here at New Hampshire. But the best news is you both got both your cars in the Final 4 fighting for the championship. Congratulations on that. Tell me about your race here at New Hampshire tonight, since you were probably you were the dominant cars of the night.
It's a good run, man. We had, I think it was 140 laps, right? It was green.
Right.
And I think I've told you guys before, that's the kind of race I'd like to run, and the race I feel like I can win. It was a little bit scary for a minute there, watching Joe Lawrence and those guys doing the 2-stop strategy, close the gap. We got to 15 to go, and that kind of leveled off, and it was time to go. Try to get my teammate, and then right when I'm starting to get some ground, the caution comes out. Of course, that was a big mess, and then of course, right when I'm trying to get in there again, another caution comes out. I think that's 2 races this year where I felt like I had a shot to get it in a shortened race, called the race. So very happy for Joe. Couldn't happen to a better person. At the same time, could not be more frustrated. When you feel like you are the fastest, you have the best car, and you run into a shortened race, you don't know what to do with all that adrenaline. You're on the wheel, your heart's pumping, and you're ready to get it, and you think you can get it done, and then you see that yellow, and it's just like, oh, well, too bad. It is what it is. So we'll leave a little frustrated, but looking forward to our break and L3.
Yeah, absolutely. I know exactly how that feels. I mean, a short case scenario, a short story here. I was leading at Daytona one time, and I've never won one of them big Daytona 250 races before. I came close, but I was leading, coming to the white flag, and I ran out of gas. So I know the feeling on almost getting there. But I tell you what, there, Carl, I'm gonna kind of rewind the clock here for you. I'm gonna take you back on that last caution. You got the 1 to go signal. What's going through your mind as a driver? You had one of the fastest cars. You and Joseph both up towards the front. You had that big lead too, and now everybody's kind of brought back into the mix, and you got some drivers who stayed out. What's going through your mind at that time?
I was worried about what ultimately had happened with Ryan. He got out of line and got sideways. I didn't actually see if he got turned around or just slowed down, but that was what I was worried about. And when he picked the outside lane, I was relieved because I thought Joe and I might be able to squeeze by, which we did. He was in an unfortunate situation, I think, with the way that our gap and the pit strategies laid out, everyone hitting pit road at different times. It kind of shuffled, and he didn't really have a choice. So, he was in a lose-lose situation. So the biggest thing I was worried about coming to the line, I thought, okay, well, the outside lane, Ryan's going to jump it, go right when the pace car goes to try and at least get a second gap and hope for a caution immediately. And then I knew Tice would get by him on the inside easy. But I had Hoover outside of me. I didn't know what his tire strategy was, if he was on 4 or not. If he was on 4, I thought, well, there's the win. Joe's just going to run away while me and Corey battle for second before he can get to Ryan. So I think that the feeling at that point was pretty frustrated. We had we'd gone so far green, and things were starting to look good. The way our tires were wearing, the way that Joe was getting up off the corner, I felt like I would have a shot at it. And scenario, I'm into the next round. I'm looking ahead. I'm like, okay, well, Joseph gets by. He gets the win. I know Lawrence had spun, so his chase is over, and I think Lariah was a little further back. So a lot of those guys that really you get scared of on a restart, they were not in the best situation. So it was really just about still trying to get that win and get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you, and that's exactly what I kind of analyzed as you guys were going to be coming to the green flag there. But all right, now we scratch off New Hampshire. Now we're to the Final Four, and then this is the part of the championship that I like because I like racing for points. I like that old format. But you guys kind of have a mixture of the old format and the new format. But with this format right here, you got 3 races: Michigan, Phoenix, Homestead. You don't have to answer. You don't have to give away the secrets. But what's the best track that you're looking forward to, and what's the not so good looking racetrack that you're not looking forward to?
But man, I love all of them. It couldn't be a better final 3. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think what you have to watch out for are the tracks with traps. It's more about the other people getting anxious and making questionable moves. So I think Phoenix is the most dangerous for everyone, no matter who you are, because you're going to have the dog leg and people bouncing around, and the set's fairly loose off, fairly tight in. So I think that's the most treacherous for everyone. I believe the other 2 will probably get some really long green flag runs that should bring the race down to who's got a long run car and pit strategy. So yeah, I think that's how I'd assess it. All 3 of those tracks, it depends on the week and depends on the setup, which one of us is going to be the fastest. So we'll have to see what happens.
Absolutely. Carl Shed, thank you for taking time to come talk with us tonight. Congratulations on making the round of 4 alongside with your teammate and your team as well. And hopefully you guys can go get her done when it comes down to Homestead. So best of luck to you in the next 3 races.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys doing the broadcast, Upper Edge, for putting on a good show. My teammates Joseph, Trevor, and Adam, and my other home family at Aegis, Joseph, Dylan, and Andrew. And I'd just like to put a thought out there. My grandfather, 92 years old, passed away just the other day. So he is a very good man who passed on a lot of values to me that helped me be the man I am today. So just put that out there for him. And we'll see you. I believe we have next week off, so we'll see you in a few weeks.
Thoughts and prayers are with you there, Carl, and good luck in the next 3 races at Michigan, Phoenix, and Homestead.
Poor buddy, we'll see you.
That was Carl Shed, folks, finishing the 2nd position tonight. Was the dominant car until his teammate came along, and they really shared it together. All right, let's hop down to 3rd place to Mr. Michael Fennelson. And Michael Fennelson, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, you finished 3rd here tonight at New Hampshire, as passing looked like it was very tough out there tonight. And now you get a good finish here tonight, solid top 5 finish. Last time we seen you in the top 5, believe it or not, folks, as good as Fennelson is, last top 5 was back in Daytona in August, 3rd place. It's got to feel pretty good being that top 5 tonight. Tell me about your New Hampshire race tonight.
Yeah, I don't mind you reminding me of how terrible I've been the last 2 months, but
You've been pretty good.
No, I've noticed it. I haven't finished really good the last 2 months. Daytona I think was my last top 5 finish, but tonight it was very hard to pass. I mean, I'm not in the playoffs, so I took tonight just as a chance to go after it, which I pretty much did the whole race. I mean, at the beginning, I just went with a 2-stop strategy. I was running with Michael Laria, who obviously every week in and out, he's really good and really fast, especially on long runs. So me running with him on the long run made me feel really good later in the race. So I pretty much just followed him all race. We were pretty much about a second apart most of the race. So that late race caution, I almost didn't know what to do. I saw a car spin and I'm like, whoa, we've been running 120 laps straight. I didn't know what to do at first, but I avoided that. There was some pit stop shuffling, but it was very hard to pass. So I'm glad I got up to 5th for that restart. And I just sent it into turn 1, trying to get anything I could on that restart. Got up to 3rd. I feel like if it would have ran green and Carl and Joey would have got side by side, I maybe would have had a shot, because I'm not racing for the playoffs, so I'm just going to send it and hope for the best, just going for it, especially after the last few months. But yeah, it was a good finish. It's finally so good to not have a wrecked race car, or really good race car throughout the entire race and finally finished it off. It's been a really long time, especially it hurts that I was second in points before the playoffs started, and now I'm probably going to finish like ninth. Yeah, very good finish, especially on a hard track to pass like this. It's a home track for me too, so good win to Joey. That was a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, only reason why I kind of brought a little bit of that up is because you've been extremely consistent all season, in my opinion. Every time I see you running out there, you're running very well in the top 10. Something just seems like to happen that just forbids you from finishing in the top 10 or even from that win. And every time I see your paint scheme out there, I mean, it always reminds me of Tony Stewart and brings back some pretty good old days from 2009 and beyond when he went to Stewart Haas Racing. But I tell you what there, Michael, you got 3 more races left, and I know you're probably out there just going out for wins. Do you think you can go out there and try to win at Phoenix or Michigan, Phoenix, and Homestead?
I'm definitely going to try. I think I would take a break from now. If I was running this bad, I think a lot of people have just told me to take a break since I haven't been really having fun with this. I mean, last week at Talladega, I think my arm started to itch at Talladega, let's just say. And you guys are probably confused at that, but yeah, my arm started to itch. But tonight I definitely had fun, and I'm looking forward to round of 4, and I'm not even in it. So Michigan, I mean, last season at Michigan, me and Joey, who's racing for the championship now, we were side by side the last 5 laps of that race, just never apart from each other. We had a really good battle at the end for the win, and I just came short. I think I finished 3rd. So I'm looking forward to Michigan. That's my spotter's home track too, so he's gonna be happy to be there. And Phoenix is another one of those tracks. It's very alike to New Hampshire. You definitely have to roll through the center of the corner, get good entrances into the corners. You can't overdrive it or else you're way up the groove and in the banking. Definitely at Phoenix though, I'm looking forward to that. I won an upper edge truck race there a few years ago, so yeah, Homestead I'm not too sure about. I mean, it depends on the track. If it moves around the lines, like if the lines move around, I think I'll have a pretty good shot. But yeah, I think Phoenix and Michigan are my best shots after this Thanksgiving break. Like I said, congrats to the Final 4 for making it. They all deserve to be there, and hopefully they'll put on the show the next 3 weeks for you guys.
That whole itching arm deal, as soon as I seen that last week, I knew exactly what you were talking about. I love NASCAR, and I'm always looking at statistics and all that. That's how much a big of a NASCAR nut I am, and I knew exactly what you were talking about. I just laughed, but it was a good comedic moment for me. But I tell you what, Michael, you had a pretty good consistent season, but you're not in the championship. Do you really, when you approach these races and you're not in the championship, do you kind of approach them, kind of see what you could do for like the tracks that we're on now? Do you try to analyze what you could do now and kind of carry that over into the next season and kind of do the same thing?
I mean, I think I definitely can, as long as we're using the same weather settings and setups for next year. We could definitely take this in, but we do have a split season. I think we're doing B cars before we go back to Cup cars like in May, but definitely helps. I mean, any on-track help on iRacing has really helped me the last few years. I've gotten a lot better, I've noticed. So before I forget, I just want to thank my sponsors, a new sponsor that came on board tonight in this pink mobile, Renso Fortune. It's a great game on Steam. It's like Monopoly, but a lot more fun. Go try that out. Mobile One, obviously. Evil Motorsports, I'm trying to finish out the season with them, even though I think they're splitting apart from me. They're going on another team, which I don't mind, but I'm all by myself right now. That's why I'm running Chevys, not Toyotas. Yeah, I want to thank Mobile One, Evil Motorsports for what they've done for me to help me out this year. Thanks to Ryan for hosting this league. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting. It's been really fun. Thanks to my spotter, Sean Peleg. Love the guy. He's awesome. Helped me through tonight, even though it was really boring probably for him to watch. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next few races. Definitely, I think I could use something from tonight next week and then Phoenix and next season. Though, like I said, any on-track time on iRacing will definitely help me out.
Yeah, absolutely. It is the greatest sim on earth. That's just my opinion. One quick question: are you a Tony Stewart fan?
Hell yeah!
All right, there you go. That's why I'm always looking at your paint scheme every week, and it just reminds me of Tony Stewart. I was proud to have met Tony Stewart back in 2012 at Chicagoland, so that's a pretty cool moment there. But Michael, thanks for coming to talk with us tonight. Congratulations on the 3rd place finish, and best of luck to you for the rest of the season.
Thanks, guys.
That was Michael Fennelson, folks, finishing position number 3 tonight. As let's kind of run her down to the finish of the race here. Joseph Tice wins the race here tonight. Carl Shedd will finish in 2nd. Michael Fennelson in 3rd. Bradley Burke in 4th. Joshua Adams in the 88 will finish in 5th. Joe Lawrence finishes 6th. Nick Massey in 7th. Corey Hoover in 8th. Ryan Dyson in 9th. Michael O'Raya rounding off the top 10. Shane Tyrion will finish 11th, the last car in the lead lap. Riley Grant Davis finishes in 12th. Robert Kenny in 13th. Walker Thomas in 14th. Jacob Adams in 15th. Jamie Dyson in 16th. Tom Bourne, 17th. And Tommy MSC rounds up the 18 car field that started the race tonight. Dave, final thoughts of New Hampshire before we head into Michigan in 2 weeks' time.
Well, definitely was a pitch strategy. Good job there by Tice Shed. Trying to make it a one pit stop race, but these guys, I tell you what a race. 140 green flag laps. So they did an awesome job. Can't wait. Want to also take this time from Dre Broadcasting. Wish everyone out there watching a happy Thanksgiving, as we'll be off pretty much next week for the holiday, but we'll be back the following Thursday. So can't wait to see how the Final Four is going to play out.
Yes, absolutely. That following Thursday, not next week, but the week after, live here on the Dre Broadcasting Network, November 30th, 2017. You're going to be watching the Michigan 200 live here on the Dre Broadcasting Network for the round of 4, as 4 drivers are going to race for the championship and try to race for points. You get all the way to Homestead, so 100 laps at Michigan's going to be a great race. NASCAR Gen 6 Monster Energy Cup Series cars. So I'm Tanner Sharp. This is David Everly. We'd like to thank everybody over at the Upper Edge Racing League for putting on such a great show. Thanks to the sponsor, Profile Machine Products, powered by Our Expression, for sponsoring the Cup Series. I'm Tanner Sharp once again. This is David Everly. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.